You're probably sitting there wondering if you should spend a few $100s on a recliner that promises zero gravity, heat, massage, and a leather finish that looks like it came straight out of a luxury showroom. The hesitation makes sense if it doesn't fit your space, or if the tech feels gimmicky. You could end up with a pricey seat that just gathers dust. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In the next few minutes I'm going to walk through what it actually feels like to live with the Seatcraft Virtuoso LT, where it shines, where it trips up, and who should seriously consider it versus who might be better off looking elsewhere. First off, the biggest question most buyers have is whether the zero-gravity claim translates into a noticeable difference when you're watching a movie or grinding through a long gaming session. The mechanism is a single-touch motor that tilts the entire seat back to about 135 degrees, spreading your weight across a larger surface area. In my own living room, set up a 45-inch TV on a wall mount, a small coffee table, and a decent sound system. I tried the Recline after a marathon of a new series. The shift felt immediate, the backrest lowered while the foot platform extended, and because the seat is built around a wall hugger frame, the whole thing only moved a foot or two away from the wall. That saves floor space, which is a real plus if your room is already tight. The sensation isn't just a gimmick, it actually reduces pressure on your lower back after a few minutes, and you can stay in the reclined position for an hour without feeling like you're slumped. The leather finish is another selling point. Seatcraft uses an Italian-style leather that's been treated with a cool gel layer. The idea is to keep the surface from getting sticky on hot summer days and to prevent the leather from cracking over time. In practice, the material feels supple when you first sit down, and after a couple of weeks of regular use it has developed a slight patina that makes it look lived in rather than brand new. The cool gel backing does a decent job of staying comfortable when the room temperature climbs above 80 F. If you live in a climate that swings between hot summers and chilly winters, the material seems to moderate temperature better than a standard faux leather chair that can get uncomfortably warm or cold. Now, let's talk about the built-in tech. The smart console sits on the armrest and houses a heat element, a massage motor, and a set of controls for adjusting headrest angle and lumbar support. The heat function runs on a low-wattage element that warms up in about a minute, and it stays at a gentle, consistent temperature, nothing like the intense heat you get from a portable heating pad, but enough to take the edge off after a long day at a desk. The massage is a serious softballs pattern that targets the lower back and the seat cushion. It's not a full-body deep tissue massage, but it does a nice job of loosening tension in the lumbar area, which is exactly where most people feel strain after gaming or binge watching. The console's wiring is tucked into the armrest, so there's no messy cable run across the floor. You just plug the power cord into a nearby outlet, and the whole system stays neatly integrated. One practical strength that often goes unnoticed is the powered headrest. You can push a button and the headrest lifts to support your neck, then lowers again when you want to sit upright. During a recent gaming night, I found that the headrest stayed in place even when I leaned forward to look at the screen. That small detail prevented my neck from cranking forward over time, a subtle but valuable ergonomic benefit that you don't see on a regular recliner. On the flip side, there are a few trade-offs that matter once the excitement of unboxing wears off. The motor that drives the zero-gravity Recline is fairly quiet, but it does produce a low hum that can be heard if you're sitting very close to the unit. In a dark home theater, that hum is barely noticeable, but if you use the chair as a home office seat with the lights on and the monitor bright, the sound can become a mild distraction after the first half hour. Another point is the weight limit. The seat is engineered for adult use, but the manufacturer lists a maximum capacity of 250 pounds. If you're on the heavier side or plan to have kids jump on it occasionally, you might want to double-check that limit. The chair's base is fairly sturdy, yet because the foot platform folds out, there's a tiny wobble when you first extend it. Nothing dangerous, but it does feel a bit less solid compared to a fixed recliner. Space planning is also a real consideration. The wall hugger design reduces the depth by up to 30% compared to a traditional theater recliner, but you still need at least 56 feet of clearance behind the unit to let the foot platform fully extend. In my studio apartment, the chair sits against the